You've heard the term common law a million times, right? It's in movies, on the news. It's just one of those phrases that's everywhere. But what does it actually mean? Well, believe it or not, the biggest clue is hiding right there in the name itself. So let's dive in and see if we can crack this thing open.
So that's our big question for today. How did common law get its name? And trust me, this isn't just a bit of trivia. The answer is kind of the key that unlocks the whole system.
All right, so it's a common question, and even though we hear the term all the time, the real story behind it is super specific. So let's take a look at the main possibilities.
To really get to the bottom of this, we're going to look at four main theories. You can think of them as contenders in a little historical quiz. You ready? Let's meet them.
Okay, contender number one. The idea that common law is based on laws that are, well, common to all countries. This one's got a nice, big, global feel to it, doesn't it? Like, it suggests some kind of universal set of principles, a legal code that all of humanity shares. It's a really appealing thought, for sure. But is it the right one? Our second contender is that the name actually comes from the word communal. You know, this one also seems pretty logical. Law is for the community, right? So maybe it was a system of law that grew up from the community itself, communal law. That's a strong possibility. Now for contender number three. This one gets way more specific. It suggests the name is based on laws that were made common throughout England. This really shifts our focus from some big, universal idea to a very particular place and a very particular moment in history. And our final possibility is that it's law for common or, ordinary situations, not for emergencies. This kind of frames the term as a practical one. It's about separating the day-to-day rules from what you do in, say, a crisis or wartime. Another very plausible explanation. All right, you've seen the four options. So what do you think? Was it common to all countries? Derived from the word communal? Was it about being common throughout England? Or was it just for common, everyday situations? Take a second, think about it. Lock in your guess. Which one is the real origin story here? Okay, you ready for the big reveal? Let's find out the true source of the name common law. The answer is actually rooted in one very specific and pretty radical historical process.
And the correct answer is number 3. Common law is named that because it was based on laws that were made common throughout England. This wasn't about some grand global principle or local village traditions. Nope. This was a revolutionary project to create a single, unified legal system for an entire kingdom.
That little phrase, common throughout England, it represents a massive, massive shift in power. See, before this, England was just a patchwork of local customs. The law in one village could be completely different from the law in the next one over. Common law changed all that. Royal judges started traveling the country, and they replaced all those inconsistent local rules with a single, unified standard. So for the very first time, the law was actually common to all subjects of the king. It was a huge step in building a single English identity. So, this leaves us with one last, kind of fascinating question. If common law was a system specifically designed to be common throughout England, how on earth does this very specific national idea end up spreading to become the foundation for legal systems all over the globe, from the United States to India? Well, that's a whole other story, one about empires and revolutions and adaptation. But maybe that's an explainer for another day. Thanks for joining me.